Greetings everyone, today I am going to show you how to install and use the ultimate local music generation application. This application ACESTEP 1.5 XL is a combination of application not only generates music but also supports some audio, segment and audio processing. I will not only show how to install and use on your Windows computer but also on RunPod, on Mass Compute and on SimplePod. I will show on all 4 different platforms. Linux users can use the Mass Compute installation procedures and scripts. So what is this application about? This is a music generation application mainly, but with so many other features. So let's see them quickly. You can generate widely different style musics under 1 minute. Let me play some of them.
Hands in the dirt, put the work on track. Built from the ground, never life on lack. Woke up with the fire, put the weight on my back. No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed. Woke up with the fire, put the weight on my back. No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in facts. Hands in the dirt, put the work on track. Woke up with the fire, put the weight on my back. No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in facts.
So as you have seen, I have generated several different style musics. Every one of them is amazing and they only took like 50 seconds. Let me show you. When we open the outputs folder, we can go to generation and we can open the generation manifest file. It will show us how much time it took. So it took only 40 seconds to generate this full song, which is 3 minutes 11 seconds. How? Because this application is very professionally developed. It supports all 3 models: ACESTEP XL, 1.5 SVT, turbo and base models. It supports full LoRA training and LoRa's. It will be another tutorial, not this one. We have GPU optimization presets automatically selecting, therefore it is fully optimized for my GPU. And most importantly, when you go to ACESTEP Advanced, you will see that we have compiled model. Therefore, it speeds up to 50% the generation speed. This is my addition to the public repositories that you can find about this application. But believe me, this ACESTEP XL 1.5 XL Premium is nothing like you will find anywhere else. So what other features it has? It can remix full songs amazingly. For remix to work, you need to have same lyrics. By the way, before I start showing you all these features, I need to tell you that this application needs to be used respectively, and this tutorial is for research and education purposes. Okay, first I will play from the original, then I will play from the remix.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on that floor in the round.
So one of the best part of this application that it is really fast, therefore you can generate many iterations and get what you want exactly. So it is so easy. I will show how to use, install and everything. This was remix feature. Let's see the repaint feature. Now the repaint is like a remix, but you generate only certain part of the song, and to be it useful, we need actually LoRa's. When we train LoRa's with our vocals, with our audio, with our own speaking, it will be perfect. For now, it can be still used to generate fully new parts. However, it won't be very consistent for lyrics generation. For instrumental regenerations, it can work, but let me show you for now. And as I said, it will be much more useful, hopefully with LoRa training, with vocals training. I'm working on that. So first I will show the original area. Then I will show the repainted area.
Ground level life on lack. I don't need the noise, I don't move for. Billie Jean is not my lover.
So this way I can totally generate new sections of the song. However, currently it is not consistent. So it is looking like this. Let me show you. We have selected the parts between 19 seconds to 23 seconds.
Built from the Billie Jean is not my lover. Praise. I just
As you have seen, it has successfully repainted the selected area and merged it into like this. So the next feature is extraction. This is extremely useful to extract stems from any given song or audio file. The normal extraction extracts everything like this, the full song, or you can use our auto editor trim output and just get the extracted section and trim out the silence. Let me play some of them to show you.
She was more like beauty queen of a movie scene.
So you can extract vocals, woodwinds, brass, effects and everything that this ACESTEP XL model supports. You can extract all stems at once. This is very useful, or you can do batch folder processing to extract from multiple given files. Everything is working perfectly. To change the configuration and features of auto editor trim output, just change the settings set here and it will follow that. So the next feature is Lego. Lego is adding a new stem to the existing audio. So let me demonstrate you how it works. First I will show the original, then I will show the Lego painted area.
She was more like beauty queen of a movie scene. She was more like beauty queen of a movie scene.
So in this example, I have added guitar stem to the track. From here, you can select the stem that you want to add and it will add that stem. It will paint that stem into your audio. It can be a full song, it can be just only vocal, whatever, and it will generate and edit properly. It will follow the music caption, however not the lyrics. For lyrics to be valid, you need to use vocals, but you may not get the performance you want. You need to test it. However, it is working amazing at the moment. The next feature is the audio processing tab that we have implemented. So this audio processing tab has several different features. The default feature is processing presets, which changes the audio enhancements that you will see here. This is very useful to improve your AI generated songs. You can read their descriptions, you can play with their values, or you can use the presets from here and it will update the values you will see here. And when you click the process file, it will generate the processed audio.
up with the vibe, with the weight on my back. On my back, no gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in fact.
Since the original song is already pretty good, you may not notice the difference, but if you max all of this, you will notice the difference. So play with it and see if it is really improving the quality for you. This is a very useful tool that I have implemented upon request of someone. So the next feature is, which I like very much, is auto editor trim silent. This is extremely useful. I use this daily in my tutorial videos to trim out unspoken parts. You know, when I am thinking something, I am not speaking, therefore that section is silent and I want to trim that part. So I have a video tutorial here, the last tutorial, one of the last tutorials that I have recorded. It is 20 minutes 31 seconds because it has a lot of pauses. Then I process this file and it becomes 16 minutes. So it trimmed out 4 minutes of silence, or maybe when I am taking breaths or some other stuff that I wasn't talking properly. This is extremely useful. You can use this feature, upload a video and get trimmed output. You can set the re-encode values from here, but it will automatically try to match the original video and you don't even need this. You can export only audio, or you can export as a workflow, which I am using normally. DaVinci Resolve Export. To have DaVinci Resolve Export, select processing preset none if you don't want to process the audio obviously. Enable auto editor trim silent and select the editor workflow. Then use browse local file so that it will generate accurate file paths. Then click process file. At the end you will get a file that you can import into DaVinci Resolve like this from here. Let me show you. Moreover, everything you have generated in our application will be saved. When you click the open outputs folder, you can see the some audio process, audio processing, the results all here, they are all saved. And in DaVinci Resolve, I will go here and I will click timelines, import this file. Select the file and OK, and it will fully import accurately with accurate file path, references, resolution, whatever I want. And you can see that it is properly split like this, so I can use the DaVinci Resolve as I want with this timeline. This auto editor workflow supports DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, ShotCut, Kdenlive. It is extremely useful. I use this at my every tutorial. It is super useful. The next feature is Some Audio Segment. Some Audio Segment is Facebook Meta published model and it is state-of-the-art audio segmentation model right now. I have implemented Some Audio with all of the extra features and optimizations. The downloaded models are all BF16 by me. We have VRAM presets automatically set according to your GPU. This is a very heavy model. It is processing with segmentation. You see we support as low as 10 GB GPUs and even 8 GB GPUs as well. Moreover, it can extract any audio arbitrarily and it supports quick prompts. You can select multiple quick prompts from here as well to extract multiple values at once. So let me show you some of the results. It also supports the audio editor trim output and compile model to improve the speed. So this is segmentation output. So this is vocals output and also drums and bass. It will only show the first one. The other ones will be saved inside the outputs folder. In the Some Audio segmentation, you see with suffix of drums, guitar or vocals, whatever you want to extract.
She was more like beauty queen from a movie scene.
So it is like this. Let me also play some of the others from here. As you can see, it is amazing. You can also play the remaining audio. It also saves that. This model is very powerful. It's a heavy model compared to ACESTEP extraction. However, this model is more powerful and it also supports, as I said, custom prompts. For example, for custom prompts, you can enable batch segment as well. With semicolon separation, you can write the stems or segments that you want to extract and it will iteratively process every one of them and save them in the outputs folder. It is working amazing. This was a feature that you have requested, so I added. Moreover, you can use this Some Audio segmentation for other tasks as well. Let me demonstrate you. This is everything video.
Hey, hang on, can you hear me? It's super loud. You know what? Actually looks better. You will not believe the day that I had. Seriously, no way. I can't wait to tell you all about it when I get home. I'll be home in like 10 minutes.
Now imagine that I can clean this very well and extract only the speech. To extract only the speech, all I need to do is select the quick prompt speech from here. I also enabled auto editor trim to trim out the silent parts and let me play you the cleaned audio. This is amazing. This is magnificent.
Hey, hang on, can you hear me? It's super loud. You know what? Do you know what actually looks better? You will not believe the day that I arrived. Seriously, no way. I can't wait to tell you all about it when I get home. I'll be home in like 10 minutes.
As you have seen, it is just amazing. Amazingly extracted, cleaned the audio. So we have all the optimizations, quantization, attention, whatever you want. We support so many features and you can use the Some Audio. It also fully supports batch folder processing so that you can process so many files at once in a given folder and extract multiple stems, extract multiple, segments, whatever you want. Another feature is load metadata. I save all the metadata of all generations in the outputs folder, you see everything is properly saved like this, and you can select the manifest and it will load all the settings that were used to generate this song or audio processing or segmentation, whatever. You can also have full custom presets. It is fully working. You can save every settings, load them, you can delete your preset. So whatever you want to do, and they will be also remembered when you next time restart your application. Very useful. This local model is now more important than ever. If you know the recent incident that Anthropic stopped its very best model, stopped serving its very best model. So anytime if you are dependent on the cloud providers, cloud services, they may stop serving you. However, this model is local. You can use it as much as you want. It is fully commercially usable. Therefore, this is the way of the future. Having local models, open source models, using them on your local computer. If your local computer is not, powerful enough, then you can use it on private cloud services, private GPU providing services like RunPod, like Mass Compute or SimplePod. I will show all of them. Since we have seen all the features, now we can begin the installation and the setup and using it on Windows first, then the cloud services. So you need to go to this link. This link will be in the description of the video below and also in the comment section of the video. Download latest installer zip file. It will be here or at the bottom when you scroll down in the attachments. You will see it. You see this post is very long. Why? Because I write every update as a changelog here. If you read everything here, then you will learn how this app is developed, the timeline, what new features added, what features added, how it is working. This is very, very useful to read. So I recommend you to read it. And at the very bottom, let me show you. Yes, it is very long. I agree with that. You will see the attachments. So you can also download from here. Let's go to tab back. Click download. It will download the zip file, but not start installing yet. First of all, you need to follow Windows requirements tutorial. If you haven't followed it yet, if you have followed it previously, then you are ready. So this is the tutorial that you need to follow first. Its source is fully up to date. The tutorial is fully up to date. You can still skip watching this tutorial and try to make it work. It may work depending on your setup. However, if you want to use Torch compile, especially, you need to follow that tutorial. Then move the downloaded zip file into any disk where you want to install. So let's install into our CUDA drive and extract file like this and enter inside the extracted folder. Make sure that your folder path doesn't have space characters or weird non-English characters. If you don't want to have any issues, I recommend that. Then double-click Windows, install or update.bat file and run. This will start the installation. It will generate a Python 3.11 virtual environment. So you need to have Python 3.11 virtual environment. It is also installing local shared FFmpeg runtime. So the installation will be fully automatic as long as you have followed the Windows requirements tutorial. It will also automatically download all the models that you need and everything will be inside this folder and inside virtual environment that it is going to generate in a moment. First, it is downloading the necessary shared FFmpeg file so that you won't have any issues. Okay, virtual environment generated and the FFmpeg are also downloaded like this. FFmpeg shared and FFmpeg shared download. The installation will be super fast because we are using UV installation, not depending on anything else. So the installation already completed. You can verify the installation with scroll up and it will start downloading the models automatically into accurate folders with accurate names. My downloader has 16 connection download and it also does hash verification. Therefore, all the downloaded models are 100% accurate. They can never be corrupted. It fully supports resume as well. When you run the Windows install again or for update again, it will verify the status and continue wherever it is left. This will download some audio segment model, audio processing related models, and it will also download the ACESTEP XL 1.5 turbo model. If you also want to use ACESTEP XL 1.5 SVT and base model, then once this installation has been completed, you need to run the Windows download all models.bat file. I will show that after this download is completed. You can also see the speed. It is 100 megabytes per second, which is my maximum internet connection speed. Normally, shared models were FP32. However, we are not doing inference at FP32. Therefore, I have generated BF16 versions, which is our inference precision. And so you see the models are now half size, faster to download, faster to load. It uses lesser RAM memory. Everything is much better right now. You see the ACESTEP model is just a single safetensors file. I also converted the PyTorch PT files into secure safetensors files. Okay, so all the 57 models downloaded, everything is accurately downloaded, hash verified. If you wonder how much space the models are taking, it is currently 34 gigabytes, which is very reasonable. Let's start the application with Windows startup.bat file, and while generating some songs, I will also download the remaining models. So I will run the Windows download all models. For cloud installation, it will automatically download these remaining models, so you won't be needed that since they are fast. So the new installed application started. This is easy to use interface which I have developed. First, you can hit generate song to verify everything is working without changing anything else. This has a default some style prompt to give you idea and lyrics. In the zip file, you will also find a file named as ACESTEP lyric generation instructions for LLMs. You can use this file, give it to your favorite LLM like ChatGPT, and make it format your lyrics or your style accordingly these ACESTEP XL models. It really works well to format the lyrics or the style. So you can always watch the status in the CMD window rather than depending on the Gradio interface itself, which I recommend. And the remaining models are also being downloaded right now, which are ACESTEP XL SVT and base models. When you go to advanced tab, you will see that which models are recommended and supported for which task. So the turbo model is mostly for generation only because it is fast, high quality, and the other models are for other tasks. It will automatically select the GPU optimization preset. If it be too slow, you can reduce your tire to generate fast. You can also provide an image from here and it will generate MP4 file with the song it generated and with the image you have provided. It is automatically generating with the selected resolution and it is keeping the original aspect ratio. You can also set your song instrumental from here, change the vocal from here, or change the language from here. You see it supports so many different languages. This model is currently state of the art. It is certainly better than the Suno free version. It is rivaling the Suno 5, Suno 5.5, especially with LoRA training. Hopefully it will be next tutorial. It will be better than even the paid Suno 5.5. And you know, Suno is very likely to putting some watermark into your generations. Therefore, the platforms like YouTube is knowing that song is AI generated. Okay, we can listen the default song.
Woke up with the fire, put the weight on my back. No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in facts. Hands in the dirt, put the work on track.
Okay, it is working amazing as expected. If you are going to generate multiple songs, if you want to speed up, go to advanced tab and enable compile model. For this to work, you need to have CUDA installed properly and also MSVC. C++ compiler to be installed properly. Everything is explained in the Windows requirements tutorial. This application will find accurate CUDA and the installed C++ compiler automatically and use it to torch compile. The first run with torch compile will be very slow since it will compile. The subsequent ones will be very fast. And it may need to recompile depending on the settings that you can change, you can play. So this is how you generate songs. Everything will be saved inside the outputs folder. When you open the outputs folder, you will see that it is saved like this. You can change the models from here. You can go to advanced, select remix. For selecting remix, I recommend you to change the recommended model SVT and upload your generated song or whatever the song that you want to remix. Use the same lyrics here, change the music caption like rap or whatever you want, and then you can also select the remix source start and end. It shows the preview here, and generate music. By the way, if you get out of VRAM error, you can restart the application. Oh, you see, since we have just downloaded the module, it didn't see it, so I need to restart the application. So as I said, if you get out of VRAM error, I recommend you to restart application. However, I made a lot of improvements, so it shouldn't be necessary. It should automatically switch between models without restarting your application. So select SVT, go to advanced, select the remix, and have the same lyrics as the remix song to not have any lyrics issue. Change the caption, then hit generate music, and it will generate the remix. Okay, as you have seen, the remix results were not great. However, one of our users just messaged me and explained me how he makes amazing remixes. So I'm now going to show you how he makes. He made a production loop. It's a loop, therefore you need to repeat it. First of all, we are uploading our original audio. Then write an adapted lyric, not a literal translation. Keep line length, syllable count, vowel shape, and stressed syllables close to the original phrase. Replace meaning with sound compatible wording when needed. Set remix strength between 0.92 and 0.99. Start in the middle of the range, listen, then move tighter or looser depending on whether the vocal follows the original too much or not enough. How you set it, if you pay attention to the remix strength, it is here. So by default it is 1, however, as recommended, try with 0.92 to 0.99 to keep the wording more accurate. Add a clean 30-second voice reference. Now this is important. This is something that I didn't test, but he tested and figured that out. Use it for timbre, vocal character, keep it clean, dry, and center it on the voice you want to be copied. So where you are going to edit, obviously it is here. So provide the reference audio to here to make the remixed audio even closer and better to the original song. And the next step, generate until the bass take feels right. So as I have shown, the generation is fast, so generate again and again and again until you get a good bass, good result. Okay, then lock the seed and disable random. How you are going to do that? I have updated application and moved the seed to this place, so it is much easier now, and it will automatically set last generated seed value. So once you have the accurate and reasonably good remix, just uncheck this and keep working on the same seed value. Moreover, I did set the default remix strength to 0.95. So with the latest update, you are going to have both of the features. Then change one word or phrase at a time and keep working until you get the desired result. He is also doing some additional stuff like separating stems, tuning vocals, then mixing all. It is all up to you to the level that you want to go. For Repaint, same way, upload to source audio, set your caption and lyrics, select the Repaint start and end like 19 to 24. It will show the preview here. However, currently we are generating remix, therefore it is waiting that. So we need to first wait for remix to be completed. Okay, it changed the preview. You can watch the status in the CMD window. As you are seeing, I am not changing any optional parameters or advanced settings because they are all set to maximum quality with the VRAM presets we have. As you play with this application, you will understand how to use it, how useful it is, how advanced it is. It has so many amazing features. So our generation almost completed. Yes, it is completed. The result should appear in a moment, and it is here. So the latest generated result is here, latest remixed area is here. You can also see the original inputs.
Put the weight on my back. The weight on my back. No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed.
Yeah, this didn't work very well, so I probably need to change my caption or generate more. This is just a very basic caption, but this is how it works when I go to Repaint. Same way. For extracting, I need to change the base model to this one. the base, and the Lego and extract will become available. I have already shown how to use them. And as you have noticed it, everything has very good explanations on the Gradio interface. So read every one of them to understand. I also can use audio processing, just upload the file and click the process file, or I can use auto trim editor. We already seen them. Some audio is same way, just select your file and select the options whichever you want to do, like text prompt. I never tried the span actually, so I can't say that it is working as expected, and it is very hard to use, or the visual mask, I also never used it, but the text is working perfect. These two others are very hard to use. They require a lot of manual work. However, text is working perfect. Type your custom prompt, whatever you want to extract, as I have shown in the beginning of the tutorial, and it will work. My installer has properly compiled flash attention, therefore it should work on your Windows or on cloud services. So this was how to do inference on this application on Windows. The LoRA training is also fully working, and it will come as a next tutorial hopefully. I am still in research. I will try to train vocal, a voice, and generate with that voice consistently. And with the style, of course, the singing style. It will be an amazing epic tutorial, hopefully. So now I will show how to install and use on RunPod, on mass compute, and on SimplePod. If you don't have a powerful GPU, if you want to generate faster, if you want to scale up your generation, then you need some cloud services. And these are the very best services. So in the zip file, we already have all the instructions. Let's begin with the RunPod. You see we have RunPod, SimplePod, ACESTEP instructions.txt file. They are all in the zip file. You need to first download it and extract it. When I open it, it will show me all the instructions. So let's begin with the RunPod. First of all, please use this link to register. I appreciate that very much. Once you registered and sign in, click this plus icon and add some credits. You see I am currently spending some money because I have some storage. Okay, let's delete them, because I will show you how to use the storage as well. Man, if you forget this, you will spend money like me. This is the home page, the newest home page of the RunPod. You registered, you added some credits. Then as a next step, you will see that we have the template. My all installers, all of the application installers work same way. So once you understand the logic, you will be able to use every one of them. So click this, it will open the accurate template. It will select it. This may change depending on the application. Since we are using CUDA 13, there is one important thing, which is go to filter and select the CUDA version as 12.8, 9, and 13. Why? Because RunPod is not updating its NVIDIA drivers. The issue is NVIDIA driver, not the CUDA version. Because we can install the CUDA version, but we cannot install the NVIDIA driver. This way, we are going to get a machine that has the accurate NVIDIA driver that will run the CUDA 13. Okay, after that, you can also play with the other, the filters like secure community. I recommend secure, the RAM amount, disk type, whatever. And then apply filters, it will select it. Now, if you don't select any permanent storage, it will create a temporary storage that you will use on this instance. If you want to use permanent storage, which you can resume later, you need to add a volume disk. So you see currently we don't have a network here. Therefore, I will go to storage first and create network volume. In here, you need to select a region because it's only region specific. And depending on the GPU that you are going to use, you need to select your region accurately. So I am going to select a region which has a lot of RTX Pro 6000, which is one of my favorite GPU, or RTX 5090. For this one, it would work too. Okay, let's see which filters we have here. High performance. The US regions are usually better. So this is Europe region, but it has a lot of RTX Pro 6000. It will be slow, but I need to select this. I hope it doesn't be too slow. Let's say example, I will make this 200 gigabytes and create network volume. Now my volume is ready. Therefore, I will click this again to get the accurate template. Okay, template is selected. My filters are kept. Very nice. And now I am going to select my GPU. Wow, the prices are all increased because of the demand. And persistent storage is network volume. Okay, now I have it. But it doesn't show whether it has selected or not. It says automatically create. Oh, here. Yes. From here, I can select my persistent storage like this. So don't make it automatically create, but I see that we could create from this as well. So the interface keep changing. Pay attention to the interface. The most crucial part is the using the accurate template and deploy pod, and also selecting the accurate filter for NVIDIA driver, CUDA 12.8, 9 or 13. Okay, this template was already used, very nice, so we didn't wait. When you go to the details or telemetry, it will show the driver. Yes, this is the driver version. This driver supports CUDA 13, therefore it should work very well. So go to connect and click Jupyter Lab. If you don't see this is enabled, you can refresh this page. The Jupyter Lab is starting. Then I will drag and drop the downloaded zip file into here like this. You can also use this upload icon to upload your zip file. Once the upload completed, it will show the upload status here. Right click and extract archive. Then it will extract like this. Then there is RunPod, SimplePod instructions. And there is this installation command. Always read these instruction files, open a new terminal from this plus, copy paste it. And it will do all the installation and model downloads. This will download all of the models, not only the turbo model, because this is cloud service, therefore it is fast. All you need to do is now just waiting. Depending on your pod, it may take a lot of time or it may be fast. However, RunPod may be broken at many times. So if you get any error, just get a new GPU. Unfortunately, there is no other way. Currently, this one looking like working, but you can never be sure. And it is already slow. So the installation started and it is installing the libraries. We are using UV installation, and even with UV, RunPod is unfortunately slow. So depending on your, as I said, chance, the server, the GPU you get, you may wait a lot of time or it may be fast. During the installation, unfortunately, an error occurred. This is operating system error. That means this is the RunPod error. To fix this issue, run the installer again and it will try to resume from wherever it is left. So it should be faster when you run it second time. As I said, RunPod is very erratic. It may throw errors, not GPU works. So it is totally unpredictable in performance. However, it is the most widely used one. It has so many different GPUs. Therefore, this is, like a trade-off between some features and some errors or unpredictability. You see the second time running installation is much faster. I hope this time it won't have any issues, we should see. But this operating system error is 100% related to RunPod, shared storage and network system itself. Now it is starting to download all of the models. You don't need to run additional command. If you get any errors during the model download as well, just run the installation again. It just resumes. It doesn't start from the beginning. The model download speed looking decent. Merging. Since I am using 16 connection downloads, it is merging them. Therefore, the downloads are really fast and optimized. It's also verifying the hash values so that you will never have corrupt model issues, because corrupt models are very annoying, that everything looks normal, but it doesn't work or it produces inaccurate results. Yes, the speed is also decent, equal 100 megabytes per second. Alright, so the installation has been completed. All the models have been downloaded. Now we are ready to start launching the application. For launching, return back the RunPod SimplePod instructions txt file. All of my applications have that. Copy the start command, open a new terminal and paste the start command. This will start as a Gradio live shared link. The starting may take time depending on your pod speed. Okay, so the application started. We can see that Gradio Live is here. If you don't want to use Gradio Live, you need to add a port to here. It will restart your pod, so be careful with that. So you need to edit this pod and add a port here to connect from proxy of the RunPod. I will show that after this. Okay, so the application started. Now it is same as using in Windows. I'm not going to repeat. However, I am going to show you how you can resume using without, making everything from your storage, permanent storage. So to resume it, I'm going to delete this pod. You see, when I stop this pod, it will be like this. And since I were using permanent storage, I will be able to resume it. Let's verify that. Okay, it doesn't show. So I'm not sure if it started with my permanent storage now. Okay, it says that yes, it was using this. So it should start. Okay, I'm going to terminate now. You know, when you terminate it, everything will be deleted unless it is in your permanent storage. So let's terminate the pod. And our template is still selected, but let's begin from beginning to verify. So open the instructions.txt, double click the template. You see it is selected. Then as a filter, I'm going to select the disk. I'm going to make the CUDA filtering. I also recommend to select maximum RAM and this disk. Okay, apply filters. So I'm also going to select my network volume. You see, when I selected network volume, the options will be lesser because it will filter based on the my network storage region. Okay, select it. Everything is ready. But before I start, I'm also going to add the port. The port was 7860. So let's also add it. How am I going to add the port? So for adding the port, I'm going to click set overrides and add it here, 7869, 7860, like this, and set overrides. Even though you are using my template, you can add some stuff like this and deploy pod. Now it will be almost instant to start the application. You will be not spending whole time to reinstall, and every file you have generated, everything you did will be kept. This is how the permanent storage system works. SimplePod is exactly same as RunPod. I will also show that. Okay, now when I click the pod instance, you see there is also 7860 port. First of all, connect with Jupyter Lab so that we can start the application. I recommend you to run the installation again to not have any issues. So open a new terminal, run the installation. This time installation should be almost instant. Let's see. Okay, it's saying that requirements are verified. Everything will be just verified. It will only install the FFmpeg again. Okay, it's verifying the packages. Everything is getting verified right now, all the models. It is skipping since their hash values were already verified. So it will take like 1 minute to verify everything and get ready. This is the recommended way. With my all applications, I recommend you to run installer again to be sure to not have any issues after start your permanent storage again. Okay, everything verified. It is now just reinstalling the FFmpeg. Then we will be ready. Yes, ready. Now return back and start. So this time we will be able to connect both from proxy and Gradio Live. However, I recommend to connect from Gradio Live because RunPod proxy always causes issues to me. It doesn't work very well. Therefore, I recommend Gradio Live option always. Okay, it has started on the local port and also on Gradio Live. So let's open the Gradio Live, and to open local port, you see there is this 7860, which is the port it starts. Okay, looks like we have to use 7861. Sometimes it requires you to start with the +1. This is how the RunPod proxy works. So let's also show that. I will just repeat the steps. You see, from here I can also edit the pod, and I will just add 7861. When I do this, it restarts the pod. Therefore, I will be needed to start it again. But once you restart, you don't need to run the installation again. Restarts keep the workspace installations. So after the restart, okay, it is done. I will just connect back to Jupyter Lab interface. Yeah, it will take some time. Okay, it is started. This time I will just run the start command, not the installation, because I only did restart. When you stop the pod or terminate and start again, you need to run the installation. If you just restart, you don't need to run the installation again. It is restarted. I will just run the start command. Okay, terminal and start. This start command also updates the application if there are newer versions. Okay, the application started, so let's open the Gradio Live and we should be able to connect from 7861. Yes. Yes, I know this is awkward. This is weird, but this is how the RunPod proxy works. Yes. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I should block or allow. Let's try block. Okay, Gradio Live starts. Yeah. proxy didn't start, but this is the way you can try it. Let's generate a song with the default values. On RunPod, it will be slow to load models. Their network storage system is slow. Okay, we got an error, but don't need to panic. I know the reason, I know the solution. Remember, when we were installing, we had this network RunPod related error. The reason of this error was that UV installs with multi-threads based on the number of CPU cores, and this machine has 256 CPUs. Therefore, it was spawning so many threads to install, and it was causing this issue, and it corrupted our virtual environment. Therefore, we got this error. So how we are going to solve this error? First of all, restart your pod. Then we are going to delete our virtual environment and run the installer again. Also, don't worry, I have updated the zip file. In future, the installation will be limited to 4 threads. If your machine is better, like if you are on SimplePod or if you trust your machine, you can increase this to improve the speed of installation. However, on RunPod, I recommend to make it 4. So first we will delete the virtual environment. For deleting virtual environment, we are going to use this command. Let's connect back to Jupyter Lab interface. Open a new terminal, copy paste. It will delete the virtual environment. This is only way to fix when the virtual environment is corrupted. Then copy the installation command again. It is still deleting the virtual environment. When it deletes the virtual environment, it will disappear from here. You can refresh to see. You see the RunPod's network storage system is slow. Therefore, mass compute is much better alternative. However, they don't have permanent network storage system. That is their disadvantage. Or you can use the SimplePod. I didn't encounter such issues there. Their network storage system is also fast. Okay, it is deleted. Now I will open a new terminal and run the install command again. This time I will limit it to 4. So if you get such errors, you can reduce it even to 2 or 1. This is the way of preventing such operating system errors. You see, stale file handle errors on RunPod or any shared network having systems. In my Windows computer or in mass compute, I never encountered this issue, or on SimplePod. However, this is an extra information for you in future to fix such issues yourself. Obviously, since we are running 4 threads instead of maximum, it will be slower to install, but it should work perfectly fine. Okay, the installation went smooth this time. We do not see any errors. Everything is looking perfect. The speed was decent, not very bad, but it was slower obviously. And since we had downloaded everything, they are just skipped, already verified. And now I can start the application again. So this was an important information. In any other application in future you may encounter this problem, and now you will know the solution. Okay, the application started. Let's open the Gradio live link. You see it is like this. If you encounter any issues with Gradio Live, you can open it in private window. It may help sometimes, or restart your browser entirely. As a rule of thumb, always run the application with default values, then verify it is working. You see it said could not parse the server response, but then it started because we clicked it too early probably. The Gradio is taking some time to load, especially when you change the model. Wait it to load values accurately. So the processing started. We have no error this time and it should work. Let's see. Once the model loaded, the subsequent generations will be very fast, but initial model loading will be very slow. And if you want to monitor the VRAM usage, you can open a new terminal, type pip install nvitop like this, then type nvitop and it will open the nvitop window. It shows the driver version, CUDA version of the driver. This CUDA version is the version of the driver, not what the template has it. So this is important. So it is starting to load the model. We have to wait because model loading is slow because the hard drive system on RunPod is slow, but it is loading. We have full optimizations to speed up this process, both on Windows, on Linux, on cloud machines. We can also follow the status here. You see it is using flash attention. I have compiled this myself. That supports every cloud GPU. This compiling takes over 12 hours. It was really brutal to make it right. We are using Torch 2.11 with CUDA 13. Hopefully I will upgrade applications and compiles to Torch 12. I am waiting it to mature. We are also using Torch AO. This is just Torch AO loading, but Torch AO is used in the inference. So this is fully optimized and highest quality, highest performance programmed application. It took me weeks to make this application, to get this application to this point. I will show the second run as well. You see the first run is taking like 200 seconds because it is all taking time with loading the model. Okay, the inference started, so the models were loaded. Inference is really fast, as you can see. Wow, really fast. It is using like 24 gigabytes of VRAM. You can perfectly run this on RTX 5090 as well. So the first song has been generated. It may take a little bit time to appear here because of the Gradio Live. You can click this download. If it doesn't appear here, you can also download from outputs, which I will show. Let's listen it.
The fire put the weight on my back, no gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in facts.
Excellent. The default is working. Let's generate another song and see the speed. Okay, generation started. It should be ultra fast since it will use already loaded models. Yeah, really fast. I can see that already. So let's see how many seconds. Okay, it is already done. Oh my God. Yep, you see how many seconds it took. Let's go to outputs. This is the third song. Let's see the manifest.json. So it took literally, let's see, 15 seconds. So on this GPU, you can generate 4 full seconds in 1 minute. In an hour, you can generate 240 songs, and it costs only $2 per hour. And how to download every generation? Go back to your workspace, go to ACESTEP Premium and right click outputs and download as an archive, and it will zip it and start downloading everything like this. You can of course download from here, click this and it will download. So how to terminate machine properly? You can stop the machine. When you stop the machine, it will still use some credits. You see it shows 0. Why? Because it is using the credits in my storage. So currently it is using $14 per month. You need to also delete this if you want to not use any storage. I'm going to just delete this because I am done with it. But this is how you use permanent storage system, how to use RunPod, how to solve issues. Basically, we have explained everything. You say I have to remove this first, so I will just terminate the pod. So what is the difference between permanent storage and the regular network volume? So let's go to pods. Everything is selected. Let's select this GPU. And let's select the volume disk. So you see, network volume uses my permanent network, volume disk uses the volume, and volume disk also uses some credits by itself. And this time when I stop this, you will see that it is going to use this much money. However, I can resume this if there is a GPU later, and to make it 0, I need to terminate pods. Okay, let's also delete my permanent storage too, so I will not get money wasted. And now I am spending 0. Let's verify that. Okay, it still shows my spend rate. Let's refresh. Wow, it is taking some time to update, I guess. But I am spending 0 right now because I don't have any pods or I don't have any storage here. Wow, it still didn't delete it. Man, their system become very slow. Oh, I generated this inaccurately, I see now. Accidentally. Yes. Why I had generated it accidentally? Because, let me show you so you won't make the same mistake. If you select the network volume here, it will automatically create it. This is actually misleading. This is how I wasted money. Yes, I just understood it. So you need to select volume disk if you don't want such accidental spend. If you make network volume, it will automatically create unless you select your existing network volume, or you need to select volume disk. Okay, this was everything about the RunPod part. Now I am going to move into mass compute. So for mass compute, we have mass compute instructions read txt file. Open it. Please use this link to register. I appreciate that. This is important. After registration, add some credits to your account from billing. Then go to deploy. in the deploy menu, it will show you available GPUs like this. Now, the main difference of mass compute is that it is always super fast. Its disk speed is like 20 times faster than RunPod. You won't get such errors, and it is cheaper than RunPod. However, it doesn't have permanent network storage system, so every time you have to install or you have to download models. So let's use the same GPU. From category select creator, from image select SE courses. And you see currently it is $2.19 per hour. It is same as RunPod. However, we have a coupon SE courses. This is working on every GPU that you can see here, every one of them. So this is a great GPU. You can also select even better ones like H200 NVL or H100 or like H200 NVL. But this is probably best for inference as a price performance. Let's verify, and it is now $1.64. You see, it is 25% cheaper than RunPod. Then click deploy. The initial generation may take a little bit time. You have to wait initialization. Meanwhile, let's install the necessary application to connect, which is ThinLinc client. You can also connect from browser, but I don't recommend that. So open this ThinLinc client link from here. Let's allow all. Download according to your operating system. Since I am on Windows, let's download it. Installation is so easy. Open it, click yes, then click next, accept, next, install. That's it. Everything is default, run ThinLinc client. Then you need to set share it folder so you can share the zip file. Options. You can also read the other options here. Go to local devices. I only enable clipboard synchronization and drives. Then click details. And in here, add a shared folder like this with read and write permission. So this is my folder on my PC and OK. So copy the file into your shared folder. So it is in my shared folder right now, the installation zip file. Then I need to just wait initialization to be completed. Sometimes you may refresh this to verify whether it is done, or click this running instance. It will refresh, but it should automatically show you as well. Okay, so our machine is ready to connect. You see, click details, copy login URL, paste it into here, copy username, paste it into here, and copy password and paste it into here. Then connect, click continue, just wait a little bit. This ThinLinc client may be slow for big file transfers, but for small files it should be fast. For big file transfers you can use like your Google Drive, your OneDrive. So this is the interface. Go to home, go to Thin Drives. You will see there is your shared folder, whatever the name you have given, and inside this I will see my zip file. You can also open Google Chrome here, log in your Patreon and download from here. So it is basically like your Windows, but it is running on cloud machine, and this is a Linux Ubuntu system. So our installer zip file is here. Drag and drop it into downloads. Do not run anything here. You have to drag and drop them into your downloads folder. Right click and extract here. Enter inside the folder. Open mass compute instructions read txt file. Copy this command. Return back to the downloads. Enter inside this folder back and open in terminal. You see, this location is so important. I am in this folder where these files are located. Right click and paste and hit enter. Then it will start the installation. The installation on mass compute will be ultra fast. Let's watch it real time because their disk system is really fast. When you get this software updated information, just click cancel. You don't need it. So it is installing Python 3.15, then installing packages with virtual environment. If you are a Linux user, mass compute installation is what you need. It should work perfectly fine on Linux as well, on your local Linux system as well. So for Linux users, I recommend my mass compute scripts. So the installation almost completed. I mean, this is like 100 times faster than RunPod. Yes, it is done. You see, it took like 1 minute to install. Then the download begins, and download speed is also amazing on mass compute. Their network and their disk speeds are unchallenged. There are no other cloud services like them. So you are seeing it in real time. It is just downloading, verifying, downloading, verifying. Download speed is around 500 megabytes per second, even faster. The merge speed is very fast since it is downloading with 16 different connections, then doing hash verification. I'm trying to unify scripts as much as possible. Whatever is on Windows, also on Linux, on cloud services, I am all trying to use the same stuff. Even the requirements and other stuff are same. So it is just downloading, verifying really fast. I mean, yes, 800 megabytes. It means like it is 5 gigabit internet connection speed. It is just amazing. Alright, so the installation has been completed. All of the models are already downloaded. We can even see the full size of the folder. So it is 65 gigabytes. Then return back to mass compute instructions read txt file, copy this starting command, return back to the folder, open a new terminal. The location of the terminal is super important. Right click and paste. Then it will start the application. We can see that the start of the application will be also really fast. There is one difference with this. You see it is starting like this. So I can open the localhost as well here since it's a desktop based operating system. So you see now this is running inside the mass compute, not in my computer. So I can use it locally like this, or I can copy this Gradio Live, copy and open it in my computer. This is the way I prefer so that I have the full smoothness of the interface. It is like running on my own Windows computer, but it is running on the server. Okay, we got this error again, so it was because of the loading. Let's refresh. It is also happening because of the Gradio Live. Sometimes it can happen, but refresh of the page should fix. Yes. So the model selected. Let's make a quick generate song. Always do default generation, then start playing with other stuff. Verify that it is working first because your GPU could be broken, your machine could be broken, anything can happen. And the usage is exactly same as on Windows tutorial part. Once you reach at this point, when you return back your CMD, you can see the status. You can open a new window and type nvitop and you can see the progress on the GPU. It is loading. The loading is much faster on mass compute as expected since their disk speeds are much faster. Once the model loaded, the subsequent generations will be really fast. Okay, generation is proceeding with amazing speeds. Yes, really fast, almost done. And since this is turbo model, it is only 8 steps inference. Yes, it is already generated and the song has appeared. Since it is Gradio Live, it is taking some time, but it is here. Let's listen.
Woke up with the fire, put away, hands in the dirt, put the work on that phase, calm in the storm, let the heart stay.
So I can generate as many as songs I want and use the perfect one. The next generation will be, let's see how many seconds. It should be around 15 seconds, maybe even faster. Okay, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Yes, in 15 seconds, I got a new song and it should appear. Yes. You see, this way I can generate as many as I want and use the best one.
In the storms, I came with peace, I came with light, move real kind.
This way you can get your perfect song. You can try different style, use any lyrics you want, and everything else is same. When you click here, it will download the song, or you can go to your installation folder, go to outputs, everything will be here. You can copy them into your shared drive, thin drives. Enter here. When you generate something here or when you copy something here, it will be synchronized with your shared drive on your operating system. So my shared drive is here. You see the outputs arrived. It is also copying right now. You can see that it is synchronizing. It is not very fast, but for small files, it should work fine. And now they are on my computer. They are all synchronized. So how you are going to stop your machine? On mass compute, there is no stop. I mean, when you stop your instance, it will continue spending your money. Therefore, once you are fully done, you did backup your, data and everything, you need to delete it like this. If you need to transfer big files, search wget on our channel and watch this tutorial. This way you can upload your folders, big files onto Hugging Face and quickly download back into your mass compute new instance. You can also backup your data or big files in your Google Drive, OneDrive and quickly download back to your mass compute. Everything is possible. Once you learn it, it is so easy to use. This is the tutorial that you need. So now I will show on the SimplePod. Open back the RunPod SimplePod and you will see that there is this link to register. Please use this link to register. I appreciate that. Once you registered and logged in, add some credits to your account. Then return back to instructions and you will see that there is this template. You need to use this, double click it, it will select the template. Now, it may be a little bit different in selection part compared to RunPod, so I will explain. This SimplePod also supports permanent network storage system. You see there is add persistence volume. If you select this, it will use it. If you don't, it will use temporary disk. So let's select add persistent volume, then click use template or edit and use. I prefer you to do first edit and use to add permanent storage. So on here on this screen, you see there is add new volume. I already have a volume, but you can add a new volume. So when I click none, it doesn't work, so I have to first generate the volume. Let's generate the volume and repeat. So go to storage. I'm going to delete this one and I will generate a new one. So let's generate a new one. Tutorial. They only have single data center right now. So the biggest disadvantage of SimplePod is that it doesn't have as many as GPUs as RunPod, but it is cheaper, faster. So let's make this 200 gigabytes and save. You see the 200 gigabytes per month price is $6. It was $14 on RunPod. Save. Then return back and double click this link. It will open the template. Let's say add persistent volume, edit and use. Select the volume from here. Tutorial. The mount point is accurate. You can add the ports like 7860 and 7861. You can give the name like this and everything else is automatic and true, save and use. Now, it is not started yet. We only did set our accurate template. You see there is change template, there is edit template. And the template is selected. The filters are here. You can apply them. So currently I am going to select RTX Pro 6000. You see the price is $1.6. It was $2.15 on RunPod. Almost same price as mass compute. So you can choose either one of them. You can also use the half RTX Pro 6000. This is shared between two person. So you are getting half performance and 48 gigabytes. This is lesser performance than RTX 5090. You can also pick RTX 5090. The price is amazing. The speed and quality is amazing. Since this model fits into 32 gigabytes with maximum quality, you can also pick this one. And when you scroll down, you will see all of the features here and run. Then it will start the machine. The machine is getting composite. Once you get to this screen, the rest is exactly same as the RunPod. Let's just wait. The data and everything will appear here. You can also see the logs here. You see system general crash logs also shown. It is showing my current spending. Okay, console and Jupyter links appeared. We can also see the volume. You see it is using our tutorial permanent storage system. So everything will be automatically saved. And click the Jupyter direct. My car's particle giving warning. I want to continue and confirm. This is because it is using some HTTPS link. Therefore, it is giving that error, but it is fine. This is running on HTTPS, so it is secure. Drag and drop your zip file, same as on RunPod. You can also use these upload files and right click and extract archive once it is uploaded. One big advantage of SimplePod is that there is direct file browser. This is ultra fast and it allows you to upload and download very big files very fast. RunPod doesn't have this feature, but they have. So once the extraction completed, it should be instant. Open RunPod SimplePod instructions. You will notice that it is currently installing with concurrent installs 4. On SimplePod, you can make this 8. On RunPod, we make it 4 to be secure because their network storage system is slow. On mass compute, we make it default. It always works. This should be really fast to install on SimplePod. So the installation started. It is quickly installing right now. Same as on RunPod. Okay, so the installation has been completed. Let's verify if there are any errors or not. All looking great so far. I am scrolling down slowly and it started downloading the models and still downloading the models. I think let's go to very bottom. Yes, still downloading the models. Let's just wait a little bit more. Alright, so the models have been downloaded. Installation have been completed. We can see that downloaded 75, all completed. Now now we can start the application. So return back the instructions txt, copy the start command here, open a new terminal and paste it. If you get any installation error as happened in RunPod, you can delete the virtual environment and install again. So the application is starting. We just need to wait a little bit more. Okay, so the application started quickly. Let's open the Gradio Live. You can also connect from this link. You see this is HTTP port which we have enabled. Let's see if it will work accurately. Okay, let's try +1, maybe as it is in the RunPod proxy. No, it didn't work on SimplePod. But it doesn't matter. We are going to use the Gradio Live. As I said, make a default generation. This error is not important. This is happening because of the Gradio Live. Let's click again. If you get that error, okay, the second time click started. Yes, it is happening because of the Gradio Live, but it is not important one time happening until the page is fully loaded. The generation started. To follow everything, we can open nvitop. Okay, we need to install first. Pip install nvitop, then nvitop. Yes. So you can monitor your VRAM usage here. You can see your CPU usage, memory usage. The loading of the model is much faster than the RunPod. Once the first time loaded, the second and subsequent generations will be much faster. But as a rule of thumb, generate one time with the default values, verify it is working, then proceed to use other features. Everything is shown in the Windows tutorial part, so watch it to learn. If you skip it to this point, okay, generation should be completed quickly once all of the models are loaded. Okay, models loaded and it is generating with great speed right now. You can also see this GPU usage. But I see that this one is limited to 500 watts. This should be 600 watts if I remember correctly. I will tell the developers of the SimplePod, their driver version is very up to date. You see 595 on RunPod, it was 580. Their driver also supporting CUDA 13.2. This is big disadvantage of RunPod. Okay, generation completed. The song appeared here.
No gold on my wrist, still I'm dressed in facts. Hands in the dirt.
Everything is same. You can click here to download. You can go to ACESTEP Premium from your Jupyter Lab interface, right click outputs, download as an archive. But SimplePod, as I said, supports direct download. Go to file browser. You can even download the models from here or upload here. When I scroll down to workspace, I will see everything is here. Double click it, ACESTEP Premium, double click it, and let's download the outputs folder. So I click it and I will click this download and it will zip and download. It will be super fast, keep it. You can even download models, go to models. Let's download one of the big models. For example, this one. This is like 9 gigabytes. Click download. You see the download will start immediately with full speed. Amazing speed, as you can see. Same way, you can upload very big files. Go to the folder wherever you want. Click this upload icon. You can upload file or folder. Upload whatever you want. So to prevent your credits to be used, you need to delete instance. There is no stop button in here. When you delete your instance, if you were using your permanent storage volume like this, everything will be kept there. Delete instance, confirm. Now my storage is back here. It is fully working. To use again, to start again, same as the RunPod part, return back the RunPod SimplePod instructions, double click the template link. It will appear like this. Add persistent storage, edit and use. Make sure your volume is selected from here and it will continue save and use. Then select your GPU. You can use any GPU like this. For example, let's use the 5090 this time. Scroll down and run. It will start the machine. It will use my storage. Okay, machine started back. Click direct Jupyter Lab. Show details. I want to continue. Since this was a full stop, I recommend to run install command again. It will be really fast. In the second time, it will just verify the installation. It should be almost instant. It will fix the extra libraries and dependencies that needs to be installed into the instance, not into the shared storage like FFmpeg. Yes, it is verifying everything. You see, it is just verifying the models, not re-downloading, not reinstalling. So the installation verified, then just start again and start using back. So this is it. Thank you so much for watching. You can always join our Discord channel. joining Discord channel is my number one recommendation to contact me. You can make a reply. The Discord channel link is here. You can join our subreddit, follow me on LinkedIn, and to see all of our scripts, you see we have our Patreon exclusive posts index. Click it, you will see all the scripts we have with their links and details. You can use Ctrl F to search anything here, like the warm UI, F3 to switch between them. Our subreddit, it is getting bigger and bigger. You see we have massive amount of subscribers, visits, and views. You can also leave a comment here. I recommend you to read everything here to understand how we are developing, what features we are adding, how to use them. I have done so many different updates, so this is so important. Zip file also updated to version 5.1. Zip file may not get updated all the times whenever I update the version of the application, because it fetches updates from a remote repository. So you just need to run the Windows install or update file if the zip file is saved. So the new instance also started. This was how we reuse on SimplePod with permanent storage system. Now I am going to terminate everything to not spend any money. Currently I'm spending like this much. So go to my servers. You can also have multiple servers here. It will show in my servers. I will just delete it. If you want to open it back, just click the instance name. It will happen. Also, you can switch them from here too. So let's just delete. There is no stop button. Then I need to delete my storage too. So I will delete that as well. Okay, thank you so much and hopefully see you later in LoRA training tutorial of the ACESTEP 1.5.